I feel like all of your humor for the podcast is around like 3rd, 4th grade level.
Oh,
all of it.
People still laugh at that stuff.
What's up? It's me, Fart Girl.
Yeah, I know.
Fart girl hockey.
I don't know if anyone is laughing at it. That's the thing, Austin.
Wait.
Welcome, everyone, to the Palm Valley Church Podcast, where we invite God into everyday conversations. My name is Mark Grohocky, and today I had the pleasure of having a great conversation with Demari Thompson, and he is one of the most creative guys that I know, and so I think you're really going to enjoy our conversation today. Thanks for joining us. Well, Demari, I think what I love... I'm kind of excited to have the conversation with you.
Okay.
Because, I mean, not only you're an intern here, and so not very often do we have interns on, so this is like a special day just for that. But you, as I've gotten to know you a little bit, you're doing all kinds of crazy things. Like,
yes.
You're, let's see, how old are you? You're 20?
I turned 23 in August.
23. So as a 23-year-old, I think you have accomplished more and done more than I'll ever do in my entire life already.
Wow.
And it's like you're just starting. So this is impressive.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
Impressive. But right now, you're an intern for us. And,
Yes.
and so where do you intern at?
In the worship arts department here at Palm Valley Church. So.
Okay. So what's been some of the most, I guess, enjoyable things that you've done as an intern?
Definitely learning like a lot of Logic, Ableton, and now I'm learning Adobe products. And I love that kind of software where you can just create and be very, I already said it, but creative.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's how I would describe you. You're a very creative person. And so you don't just think about being creative. Like, you've actually put some time and effort into different projects.
Yes.
So I'd love to hear about how you started. So, I mean, number one, you've designed your own shoe.
Yes.
Tell me about that. That's what's crazy to me.
Well, I am a sneakerhead. I love tennis shoes.
Uh-huh.
I can't always afford them, but when I can, I love to go out and buy a nice pair of shoes. And I always there was like a certain design that I always enjoyed, but I could never find it anywhere. I never really saw it. So I was like, why don't I just make it myself?
Yeah.
I found this manufacturing company in Italy. If you submit an application, tell them what you want to do and how you're going to market and stuff like that, and they'll review it and they'll accept you if they want to. And they accepted me, so I designed these shoes, and I had to get 7 pre-orders for them to go into production.
Right.
And I got 10 orders. So
Nice.
they went into production. So I own a pair, and there's people out there wearing them now. And one of the benefits of this shoe is that 50% of all the proceeds go into the fight against sex slavery. Yeah. Because that's something that's very close to me. And then the other 50% go into creating just content and artwork and music videos and plays, whatever I think of. I just want to be able to fund that, because it's hard to fund those kind of things. Those kind of things are expensive. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing with this.
It's amazing. I mean, you've created a shoe that is actually out there in production in that right now. Yes. And it's something that it was an outlet for you. But yeah, you've used this then as a ministry. I mean, you're wanting part of these proceeds to be able to help out this cause that you're pursuing this. And let's say it's so impressive to me. I mean, does that thought just come to you? Are you... This is just who you are. I mean, how come you're wired this way to be so creative and then to use it to really serve it in this great way?
I think it's more just what am I good at? What have I been passionate about my whole life? And as I got further into serving God and learning how to live life as a servant first, and I would think, this is what I'm good at. This is what I can do. This is the passions that God has placed within me. So I'm going to use them however I can. And it used to be where I didn't do anything because I wanted to do everything with excellence. I wanted everything to be perfect and to be the best out there. But what I learned is you can't compare your seed to other people's trees. So everything you start has to be in seed form. And I'll just put things out there now, even if it's not the best or the most top quality, because I know the meaning behind what I'm doing, and I know I'll grow as I go further, and I know I'll make better products. I know I'll be able to help more people, but I just want to start somewhere, and you can't start at the end. You have to start at the beginning. So
I think that's a powerful statement. I think you said we can't compare our seed to somebody else's tree.
Yes.
What a great statement in that you understand where you're at in your own creative process. Yes. And I love that you're putting things out there like that. I mean, when did your relationship with God start?
Well, I was raised in the church. My mom's always been a Christian. My grandmother was Christian. It's kind of just a family thing.
Yeah.
But personally, I know that my relationship with Christ started when I was around 14, right before I went into my freshman year of high school. I went to a camp and I truly dedicated my life to Christ. You know, I'd always believed, I'd always been a churchgoer, but that's when I really experienced the life change that Jesus offers. And I started to grow and become a better person and to do better in school. And yeah.
Very nice. And so then that has transformed you into continuing this creative gene that you've always had, but now it's being used for what God is calling you to be creative in that.
Definitely.
And one of those outlets of creativity as well is music for you.
Yes.
Tell us how big a part is music in your life?
I love music. I've always wanted to pursue acting and music, actually, but music is I feel like with music I can write everything that I feel and everything that I think and everything that I believe, and I can get it across to the world in a way where it's not taken incorrectly. Because I can get up and tell people about something that I went through and they'll judge it. But if you sing about it or you rap about it or you write a song about it, it's just people feel it. And when people feel things and when people experience it with you through a song, it's more impactful that way.
Yeah. So. I like that, the experience side of it. Yes. When you're creating something, is that what you're thinking about? You're thinking about how will the experience come across, or are you thinking more about this is the specific message I want to portray?
I think they're both equal.
Oh, okay.
I think, if I'm going to write a song that has a very heavy message and it's very a dark to light story, I'm going to write it in a minor key, because it brings out that if I write it in a major key, it sounds a little too happy. I don't want it to sound happy. I want it to sound, like I was in darkness and now I'm moving to light. So the next song may be in a major key because it's more of a light, happy song. But it's just, I think the experience that people have is just as important as the lyrics, because if they're not, that's where the feeling comes from. That's where the connection comes from. The lyrics are, you can speak lyrics, but you can't speak the instrumentation underneath the lyrics,
Yeah, exactly. So do you always have kind of music kind of in your mind? You're always thinking of the next song you're going to write or the next thing that's coming up. Is that like always playing out for you?
Yes, it is. I'm a perfectionist, so I will write a song and throw it away 2 seconds later. And I'll write a song, think it's amazing, and then 2 days later, I'll listen to it. I'll be like, why did I write that? That's terrible. And I'll throw it away. So it's really hard for me to try to finish something, which is because I'm never satisfied. I always want to be better. I always want to write better. I always want the point to get across better. So, but yeah, I'm always trying to think of new things to create.
Yeah. And it seems like you've gotten into some video production in that as well, right?
Yes, because I went to acting school and
really
in the acting school for 3 years. Yes,
okay.
In acting school, I studied a little bit of filmmaking and script writing and script analysis, character analysis, and I began to write my own scripts. And at first, I was just doing for the songs I was producing. I made music videos for those, and they told stories. But the last one I did was called Run, and I actually wrote a script to go along with it. So the song is about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but the video is 10 minutes long because it's a short film as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wrote a story to go along with what the song was talking about, and I produced that. I directed it. I casted it. I wrote the script, and then I had my friend over at his studios, Opus Vita Studios. He shot it and edited it, and he put it out, and it's been out for about a year now.
Yeah, so music, so video, so design. Is there any of these kind of creative outlets for you that you favor, that you would say, this is really my sweet spot?
I wouldn't say I favor anything because I believe all art is a tool. I don't think music is the most important or film is the most important. I believe they're both all tools that I use to get across the greater message of hope and life change and ultimately Jesus.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot, you can see in the evidence in society, a lot of times film and music and writing and plays, they have shaped culture. I remember there was a time, I read an article about a time, I wasn't alive then, but the Air Force was lacking in recruits, and then Top Gun came out, and the Air Force had a ton of recruits come in.
Yeah.
So it's like that movie influenced culture, and the military got back on its feet. The Air Force got back on its feet. So it's just movies have that kind of power. Music has that kind of power. You can listen to a song when you're having a bad day and find hope.
Yeah.
So
you feel like God has created you with these creative outlets to influence culture.
Yes. That is actually my mission statement, to impact culture and change hearts and minds through the power of truth.
Say that one more time. I like that.
To impact culture and change hearts and minds through the power of truth.
Fantastic. And what does that look like on a daily basis?
Constantly writing, constantly thinking and creating. And not everything is going to be good. Not everything is going to make you feel like I'm the next Mozart, but always working at it, always putting time and effort into it. Because I've realized over my life that God gives us everything we need, and he provides us with all the tools, but we have to be the ones willing to put the work in. Like the Bible says, play skillfully. He's not going to give a skill with a snap of a finger. We have to work. We have to be the ones that will stay up and later into the night playing the piano or playing the guitar or writing, and trying to just, the more you do it, the better you get, and you have to spend time in it. So steward what the passions that God gave me, the gifts that God gave me. I want to steward it and become better. I'm not where I want to be now, and I'll never be where I want to be. I want to be the best I can possibly be, not to be better than other people, but to make God happy, to bring his about his kingdom on earth. So
I love what you said there of God is the one that has given us all these skills and gifts and talents, and he's given them to us to use for his glory, for his kingdom, to make an impact in this world. But we have to choose to use them. I think sometimes that may be the biggest thing that hinders us, and not that we don't have the right tools or we don't have the right necessary things in our lives. We're just not willing to use them. We're not willing to put the time and effort into it.
Exactly. It's like the parable of the talents in the Bible, where he gave 3 men different amounts of talents of money, and some of them went out and they stewarded it. They made more. They came back, and the master was happy, but one buried it and said, "Oh, here, I still have what you gave me. I didn't waste it." But it's like, you did, because I gave it to you to go out and make more. Right. But you didn't. You, in fear, you kept it, and you said, "Oh, I'm going to be comfortable here. I'm not going to grow." So
So what motivates you to keep using your gifts? Why is it you're not the one that's just hanging on to it and not doing anything with it?
I think just realizing and being reverent of who God is, and why you're here, and why he created me specifically. And I can't not do what he has called me to do. He has saved my life. He has brought me through so many terrible things that I've experienced and gone through. There are a lot of times where I can look back and say, man, I shouldn't have made it through that. I should not be here. So the least I can do is be a good steward of the gifts and the blessings he has given me, the grace he has given me, because I don't deserve any of it, but he still gives it to me. So I'm going to turn around and give it right back to him the best way I know how.
That's powerful. It's a powerful statement, to be able to recognize what God has done in your life and to use that as motivation to keep doing it, regardless of some of the hurt and pain you've been through in this. I love that.
Thank you.
So what does the next 5 to 10 years look like for you? What are you hoping is going to happen?
Eventually, the big goal, the big dream is to be able to own my own production company, just an entertainment company, where I not only produce content, but I help other people who are in my position, where I want to produce content. I want to do these great things, but it's like, it's very expensive to do those kind of things. I want to be able to say, hey, I have a studio. You college kids can come shoot in the studio for free, use all my equipment, or you want to produce this movie, I'll produce it with you, and I'm not going to take your proceeds. I just want to make sure that you can get your message across. You can get the truth across. And I just want to uplift people and bring people, just a place where they can feel valued and heard. And I also want to, like I said, impact culture. I want to, because I believe the best way to change the world is not to talk to people, but it's to have them experience truth.
Yeah.
So when they experience truth, they recognize it. They recognize this is right. This is the way I'm going to follow this way. And I think the only way to do that is to be a personal worshiper, be personally in the Word all the time, and be loving and generous and open and kind, and like fruits of the Spirit, you know, and just be all that God has called us to be salt and light to the world, you know, be that person that I don't know why, but I see something different in you, and I see what you're doing, and I feel like it's truth. And then people are drawn to that, and people want truth. So your statement of in this company where I want people to be valued and to be heard, or have a place to be heard. I would say, just in seeing the different things that you've done, I think you were modeling that so greatly. Thank you.
I mean, you've done a great job through some of the videos I've seen, through the music, you know, leading worship here on a weekend. You give people a voice. You've allowed people to have that. And for you to be here as a 23-year-old, having designed a shoe, having produced a movie already, having music videos out there, I mean, that's exactly what you're doing. The thing I would always tell myself, or I would say about myself, is I'm not a creative person. That's not who I am. And I would say there's probably a lot of people like me to say, you know what, I don't have the creativity. You know, I have this little tiny, this is what I'm good at, so I do this, but I'm not a creative person. What would you say to that?
I would say that would be false.
Yeah.
I don't believe creativity is just writing songs and writing films. I believe you get up and you preach every once in a while on the platform, and that's creativity. You're allowing God to inspire you and to use His Word to influence the masses. That is creativity. I think getting up and serving your spouse in different ways every day is creativity, and raising your kids to be good people. I believe that's creativity, because there is no guidebook on that. There is no like, this is how it goes. You know, all you really know is you love them and you serve them, but you have to figure out how to love and serve someone. And I think that's being creative.
I like that. That's a really good thing. And I mean, maybe what would you say here as we get ready to close? What would you maybe say to the people listening that they're just not motivated right now? I mean, you're motivated and you're getting after it. What would you say to them, to that person that isn't right now motivated to use the gifts they have?
I would say to look for your motivation in something greater than what's in this world. Look to your motivation from the things that I look to God, because God is the creator of the universe. He is the lover of my soul. He is God, and that He's greater than this world. He's something that He's incomprehensible. He's a mystery, but He loves us, and He cares for us, and He's always provided for us. He's never let us down, and He never will. And I put my faith in something that knows more than me. He knows more than me. He does more than me. He's more powerful. So it's kind of a comfort to know that God is there when I fail. And that's where I found my motivation. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Demari, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for asking me to come out.
You bet. And sharing some of your life story. And is there like maybe a specific place that people can go and kind of check out some of your projects and things you've done?
Yes. Right now, actually, it's all on like Instagram and Facebook, but I'm actually in the process of creating a website. So when that is up, but right now, just Demari Thompson on Facebook or Instagram. All my stuff is there. And then soon the website will be out.
Website is coming. All right.
Yes.
But through social media, they can find you right now. All right. Well, perfect. Thank you for sharing some of that. I'm looking forward to see kind of how our internship ends up here as well. So it's been great having you on board for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
And we'll keep seeing you on stage and doing all kinds of amazing things. So thanks for joining us today.
Sweet,
and everyone else, thanks for joining us. We'll look forward to seeing you online or in person. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
Glad to be here.
Thanks, Fart.
See, it's funny.
It's funny face to face.